This is a special update. This is for Saturday night, the 15th of February. This is James Spann. And I thought we'd go live here briefly as we look at the line of storms about to come into Alabama. We are live at 10:05. And this is the current radar, and you can see a line of strong to severe storms approaching the northwest corner of Alabama, up around Waterloo and Florence and the Shoals. The line stretches down through a point just west of Tupelo. In fact, it's coming right into Tupelo, then down to about Jackson. And that line will be sweeping through Alabama tonight. We'll take a little closer look at the activity in central Mississippi. In fact, let's go down to the Jackson radar. And we do note there is one tornado warning in effect here, and this is for the Jackson metropolitan area in Mississippi, in that there's a school of thought that there could be an isolated tornado within the line segment coming into downtown Jackson. So again, for those of you that are watching in Jackson, Mississippi, not Alabama, but Mississippi, just note there is a tornado warning that's in effect there. So far, for the rest of the line, it's been relatively well behaved in Mississippi. We do note severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and that's the main concern here as we go through the night. It's going to be the potential for strong straight line winds as the line comes into Alabama later tonight. The instability is marginal, but the wind dynamics are strong with this. And again, we'll go back to the Columbus Air Force Base radar. And really and truly, the reflectivity values are not that impressive coming up into Colbert and Lauderdale counties. We've had no warnings in effect for that segment of the line. And again, we'll watch it carefully, but the velocities are not that impressive. So hopefully they will stay behaved as they come through Alabama tonight. But let's kind of go through some of the basics here very quickly. This is the tornado watch that has been issued for a pretty good chunk of Alabama. In fact, let me decrease the box a little bit. You can see all the counties in the watch, all the counties in yellow. And that's most of the state except for the east and southeast counties. Again, from near Auburn down to Dothan, Enterprise, you're not in a watch. The rest of the state is in a watch, and the tornado watch in effect until 4. And again, we stress the main concern, it's strong straight line winds and not tornadoes. But since there's the chance of maybe an isolated tornado or two, SPC opted for a tornado watch instead of a severe thunderstorm watch. Here's the radar composite, and you can see that line stretching from west of Nashville down to Jackson. And this is a linear type feature, and typically with linear events like this, the main concern, strong straight line winds. But again, if there's a little kink or break in the line, there could be an isolated tornado. Most of Alabama and Mississippi clearly in the warm sector. That's a look at temperatures shortly before 10 o'clock, and you can see we've got 71 at Mobile, mid to upper 60s elsewhere. That wedge front is over the extreme northeastern part of the state. If you're in Jackson, DeKalb, Cleburne, Cherokee counties, it's cooler there and more stable. For most of the state, we've got the warm air. But again, the instability value is not that overly impressive. We do note there's a wind advisory for all of Alabama. Now, the wind advisory is covered up here by the tornado watch, but all 67 counties under a wind advisory through early tomorrow morning because of gradient winds not related to storms. This is the latest SPC outlook, and again, there's a level 3 out of 5 risk, an enhanced risk for much of the state. The county's in orange. The rest of the state, that northeastern corner with a level 2 out of 5 threat. This is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes, and again, you can see the higher possibilities are across the southwestern counties of the state, and that's if we see discrete cells in advance of the line, the instability values are higher there. And again, for the rest of the state, the main concern, it's the strong winds. This is the probabilistic outlook for wind, and we see the purple on that map. This is suggesting the chance of 58-mile-per-hour winds within 25 miles of a given point is basically 50-50. So these storms should be very windy as they come through. We'll take a look at modeling. This is the HER, and I will say the HER is, the initialization perhaps is not the best. This is valid at 11 o'clock, showing the line coming into the shoals, and basically it's about an hour off. It's 10:10 now, and the storms are basically in that position. So the storms are coming in pretty quickly, but this gives you a rough idea. This is after midnight. This is 2 a.m., the storms have come on through Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Huntsville. And then by early tomorrow morning, this is 5 a.m., the storm's coming down into Dothan and Ozark in the southeastern corner of the state. And again, I do think they should be weakening at that point. This is the instability, and there's a little bit in advance of the line, but not much, and that's kind of one of the limiting factors with this event. It's the lack of the surface-based CAPE values, convective available potential energy. But again, the wind fields are very strong with this thing. Surface and aloft, very impressive winds. We knew that from the get-go. And that's one concern we have, is that we might see damaging straight-line winds. And this is the STP, the significant tornado parameter. And again, values are very low across most of Alabama. This is valid at midnight tonight. Higher values over South Mississippi and Southeast Louisiana. So again, I can't stay long here because, again, the idea is that we're going to go long form over on the TV side, which means the live stream will be on ABC 3340's YouTube channel and Facebook page. So be sure and follow them, and I'll link it on my Facebook page. But we've got a line of storms, gusty, windy, about to push into the northwestern corner of the state. And we do note a tornado warning has just been issued along the line. Let's take a look at that. This is going to be, it looks like, for the counties just to the north of Columbus, Tupelo. So we'll stop it real quick. Take a look at this. It's for the line segment right there. This is a tornado warning that is in effect for Chickasaw, northeast Chickasaw, southeastern Pontotoc, southern Itawamba counties, southern Lee counties, northern Monroe counties, and northeastern Mississippi. This is a warning from the Weather Service in Memphis for the possibility of a brief tornado that might be within the line. And let me just say, we're not that good at handling these QLCS tornadoes. They're hard to deal with. The spot of concern, as you can see, is right there. And that line segment, that potential tornado rotation, will be staying north of Amory. And again, that will be moving on to the east. And again, this is the kind of thing that could happen with this. A little kink in the line. And again, evidence of what could be an isolated tornado in northeastern Mississippi, a little to the northwest of Okolona. That'll be crossing Highway 45 near Nettleton, US 45. And we'll see if that stays in place. In fact, let's expand this out. And you can see that if by chance this thing were to stay in place and stay down, it would be moving ultimately into Marion County, Alabama. But again, most of these are going to be very short-lived. And it's almost like playing whack-a-mole, trying to warn for QLCS tornadoes. It has always been a challenge. It always will be a challenge. And QLCS is quasi-linear convective system. But again, clearly we can see why that warning is issued for that feature right there. And that's the kind of thing we could deal with. But again, we'll be over on the ABC 3340 YouTube channel and their Facebook page, probably starting about 10:30, 10:45 tonight. And we'll sit with you through this event tonight. And hopefully the best case scenario, we come through this with just a windy, gusty line of storms. But there could be a few isolated tornadoes. And again, the other concern is the fact that the soil is saturated. Understand we had in some places 4, 5, even 6 inches of rain earlier this week. And with the ground saturated with a gusty line of storms coming in, that could set the stage for just maybe some trees coming down. And one of the little words of advice from the Weather Service in Birmingham, and I think it's valid, is that you might want to consider treating a severe thunderstorm warning like a tornado warning tonight, especially if you have trees around your house. It's just a thought, and that's not a bad recommendation. So, again, we're going to stop this live stream, and we'll be over on ABC 3340's YouTube and Facebook pages here shortly with the live coverage there. So we'll see you over there. For now, that's it. Next weather briefing here Monday morning. Thanks a lot. We'll talk soon over on ABC 3340 and their YouTube and Facebook page and television. We'll see you there.